Again, this is just one I wanted to see from the name alone. Attacking 4-3-3 vertical Tiki-Taka sounds like it's going to do pretty well. So let's check it out. Yes, this is called the Attacking 4-3-3 Vertical Tiki-Taka. I mean, it definitely sounds like it could do well, but we'll see what happens with our three teams of Liverpool, Aston Villa, and our championship side of Ipswitch Town in just a minute. But you start out with a sweeper keeper in support, a wingback on the left in support, inverted wingback on the right, ball playing defenders in the central spots, a deep lying playmaker behind a central midfielder and an advanced playmaker, an inverted winger on the left this time around, and a winger on the right, and a complete forward in attack up front. Now, unfortunately, on the Steam Workshop where I got this from, it has no information. It really doesn't even have a screenshot. The only comments are fantastic tactic and if it works in the new patch. But so that's another reason why I kind of want to take a look at it and see how it does. So for all you tactic makers out there and you post stuff publicly to the Steam Workshop, please put a little bit of information just so we can kind of glean what kind of tactic this is, what we're expecting from it, and how it worked for you. But as we get back to the tactic, in possession, attacking with is fairly narrow, play out of defense, passing directions is shorter, tempo is slightly lower, mix crosses, work the ball in the box, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line, trigger press much more often, and then prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Now, how did it do for our Premier League teams, at least of Liverpool and Aston Villa? As you can see, actually, Aston Villa pipping Liverpool 76 points is a fantastic tally for them. Liverpool 75, about 10 points off of the usual. Since Aston Villa is above Liverpool on the table, we're going to start with Aston Villa's schedule. You could see out in the EFL Cup 4th round, 3-4 against Nottingham Forest. And then out in the quarterfinals, 0-3 against Manchester City. Now that's what more expected. However, beating Olympiacos in the Europa Conference League final 3-0 is a fantastic way to get a first trophy of the season. You're in Champions League next year anyway, but one trophy a season, now you got the Premier League next season, you're doing really well. Looking at Aston Villa's squad, Martinez back up to 59 appearances, so that's around where we should be. 37 goals for Ollie Watkins, 21 for Diaby, very well done. 15 assists for Luis, Diaby with 13, as does Tielemans. Average rating, you got some players in there. 7.44 for Wendia, we haven't seen him much. 7, actually only 1+4, that would be why. 7-3-0 for Ollie Watkins. So overall, I mean, you got some players that you'd like to see a bit better and boost it up a little more, but overall, not too bad. I mean, 3rd place is definitely a good place to be in the table. Liverpool doing really well in the EFL Cup all the way to the final. Unfortunately, again, Arsenal is the one that kicks them out 1-2 in extra time, and then FA Cup 4th round is where you lose out to Fulham 1-2. However, a trophyless season for Liverpool this time around. Manchester United in the semi-finals of the Europa League. 2-1 at home win, but unfortunately a 1-3 loss against them away from home. Squad-wise for Liverpool, not too bad. Starting out with goals, 22 for Jota, Salah with 20. You do have a bunch of players in the double digits. However, again, we've seen some with 20, a bunch, 4 or 5 with 20 and above. So this time it's a little bit kind of more muted. 18 assists for Szoboszlai, Salah with 13. Salah's just an absolute beast, no question about it. 7-3-0 for Salah. Szoboszlai with 7-17. So definitely muted this time around. It could be a lot better. I'm sure they could do a lot better if you're taking control and doing a lot of things yourself. But this time around in this sim, not too bad. Data Hub, again, another tactic that shows incredible defensively, good in attack. I mean, you've got some better than Premier League average numbers, which is fantastic to see. You just would like to see a little bit more. And if we head off to Liverpool, and that was Aston Villa, but if we head off to Liverpool, again, incredibly defensively, good in attack, better than Aston Villa. Fouls against per game is all the way through the roof. Dribbles per game, much better dribbling tactic this time around. Overall, not too bad. I mean, you definitely have better than Premier League average, which is great to see. You just wish those numbers were pushed up a bit more. Overall, the two teams are in here. Some of them are kind of on the average side, but most goals, Liverpool with 80, 78 for Aston Villa. Fewest shots, they're in there. Most possession, Liverpool with 58 is just on the higher side of average, but pretty average. Liverpool, most dribbles made. So you don't have anything for tackles won, best pass completion all the way in the bottom, most shots for. Again, overall, kind of on the average mark. You do get better in the most goals, but, everything else, lift up a little. Most goals, Ollie Watkins does have 22, so he beats everyone else in the league, especially Holland with only 21. He must have been injured or something, but assists, I mean, you start to see they're down in the list a little bit, kind of on the average mark up until dribbles made. Definitely, like we said, dribbling tactics, Salah and Diaby up there, but overall, kind of on the average side of the season. And as we head to Ipswitch Town in the championship, you can see 7th place just outside and only by goal differential of the playoff spots. That is sad to see. But 82 points, not too bad overall, but just one more point would have pulled you into that playoff run. Unfortunately, not this time around. Schedule-wise, Cup run, they did okay for the EFL Cup, unfortunately losing out in penalties to Middlesbrough. And in the FA Cup, you're out immediately in the 3rd round, 0-1 to Leicester. Squad-wise, we will see what we get. 22 goals for Hurst, still up there, tops of the list, but 16 for Broadhead. Assist-wise, no one in the double digits, 9 for Burns and Broadhead. Average rating, you got a couple players, but not really all that well. Burns was 710. And again, I mean, 89 goals is fantastic, but fewer shots against. A lot of these, you're in the middle if they're at all. And yeah, sadly, it's just kind of on the average mark. Although points per game, 3rd place is not bad at 1.78, and you end up in 7th. Player stats-wise in the championship, you're up there. I mean, most goals, Hurst is in there, but overall, a lot of these, you've got a player in there. They're just not high up. Leif Davis, there you go for most key passes, 2nd place. But overall, yeah, it's kind of on the average mark or worse. So to recap, I mean, it did okay. It did great for Aston Villa. Liverpool, on the average mark. Ipswich Town, it did okay. It brought them up to 7th, where they're supposed to be in 10th or 11th, I believe. But overall, didn't get them into playoff spots. It kind of pushed them a little bit forward, but you still needed to do a little bit of boosting of your own. And a lot of these times, this is just a straight sim. I'm not doing anything to these teams. But if you took control and did your own, training, your own transfers, your own tactical changes during a match or things like that, yeah, you could do a little bit better and get Ipswich Town into the playoff contention. It just didn't work this time around. But that is it for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.